This video is sponsored by Trading 212, which lets you invest in real stock for free. And now, because we teamed up with them, you get a promotional code and up to 100 euros worth of shares for free. What's up, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this review by AutoTopNL. My name is Max, and today we are going to take a look at this new BMW X3 M40d. I'm going to show you all around it. We're going to take a look at the spec, and then we'll take it for a drive towards the Autobahn for a quick Autobahn blast. Because that is what this car is for. Covering a lot of distance at high speeds with a lot of crap in your car. But before we begin, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell to receive updates when we upload a new video. And don't forget to check out today's sponsor, Trading 212, which is a great way to actually own shares of your favorite car company. So if you think BMW is going to sell a lot of X3 M40ds, you could buy shares of BMW. And it's completely for free. There are no commissions. Just get the app, open an account, register in 3 minutes and use the code AUTOTOP, and you can get a free share worth up to 100 euros, for instance, BMW. Okay, so today I'm going to show you the spec because I really like this spec. It is very under the radar, I would say. Glacier silver. It's a really nice silver color. It does mean, however, that the M performance parts, the M performance bits that you get, because this is an M40d, you sort of lose them because they are all cerium grey, as you know. In the grille, in the front bumper. I mean, it still looks cool, but if you would have like a dark grey or a dark blue or a black car, that would stand out a lot more. Moving on. As standard, you get 20-inch M wheels. We have 21-inch individual wheels, which I really like, with M Sport brakes behind them. As you can see, blue brake calipers. Looks pretty cool. Some more cerium grey details on the side, an M badge, cerium grey mirror caps. We've got the shadow line package as well, which means black window sills and black roof rails. And if we move to the rear, you can see the M40d badge right there, also in cerium grey. And dual exhaust, which is a real. That's a real exhaust. That's how it should be. 2 thumbs up for BMW. Okay. What is this car? Because we have driven the M40i, I think a year ago or something like that, with 360 horsepower and 500 Newton meters. This is the diesel version of the M performance of the X3. That means we've got a 3-liter inline-6 turbo diesel engine with 326 horsepower and 680 Newton meters, which is a lot, I would say. There it is with an M performance badge. So it also means that this has 6 horsepower more than, for instance, a 540d, which is the same engine, which is good. It's not a lot, but at least it's more. It also means that it does 0 to 100 kilometers an hour in 4.9 seconds. And the M40i does that in 4.8. So they are very similar in performance, which is pretty cool for a diesel SUV. And it brings me to my next point. The Audi SQ5 has always been the leader in this segment. It was pretty much the only one you could buy if you wanted a fast, small SUV. The SQ5 had 313 horsepower, but because it was an SQ5, people cared. There has always been the X3 35d, which had, you guessed it, 313 horsepower, but no one really cared because it wasn't an M performance model, but it was just as fast and it drove, well, I guess, as well as an SQ5. So to compensate that, they now have a diesel M performance version of the X3, and I'm super excited to drive it because, as you know, I love fast diesels. Okay, come on, let's take a look at the interior. We have a mocha interior, which I really like, with the glacier silver on the outside. But these seats are a bit weird because these are not M Sport seats. because they don't have adjustable side supports. And they're a little bit hard and they're not that comfortable. I don't really like these seats. I don't know which seats they are, but I would prefer my M Performance car, my M Performance labeled car, to come with M Sport seats or M Performance seats, however you want to call it. So that's a bit weird, I think. Other than that, come closer. We have something I really love, which is the instrument cluster. This is the old style dial, which is so much better. Just a digital speedo of an analog speedo. It just looks cool and so much better than the new one. Okay, so it's all about the driving, of course, in this M Performance car. So let's take it for a drive and see what it's like. So I love the fact that you have these digital dials that look old school, but if you switch to sport mode, you get the ugly sport dials. But I'm going to turn them on right now because it's just better for on the Autobahn later on when I'm going to show you the speedo. All right, ready to go? Let's see what this thing is like. So let's take it for a drive and see what it's all about. Well, of course it's all about this, the torque, 680 Newton meters. That is a lot. I mean, a lot. It's like 80 Newton meters more than a V10 RS6, just to give you an idea, which is a lot. So instead of that howling straight six you get in an M40i, you trade that off against the higher torque. And you also trade it off against comfort and a bigger range. Because when I picked up this car, it said I could do 970 kilometers on this tank, which that's such a good feeling. Especially a little backstory, especially if you have an M135i like this guy over here. He does like 380 to 400 kilometers on a tank max. That's it. I mean, that's just horrible. He's at the gas station more than he's at home.
I live there.
His girlfriend, I mean, he pretty much is married to the guy at the gas station. You're on first name basis, right?
We are, yeah.
Yeah. So my 535D, I can do 1,000 kilometers on a tank as well, which I absolutely love. And I've gotten so used to it that when I drive his car, I get totally crazy. Okay, we're going to go to Sport Plus, Sport for the gearbox, and we're going to turn off traction control altogether, because this car is pretty firm, pretty quick. It has a lot of torque, so I'm going to try and see if we can slide it around a little bit. I think we can, because it feels really sharp.
Do you want me to get out and give you a warning?
Yeah. Okay. AutoTop behind the scenes. Don't forget your high visibility jacket. Okay, so he's going to give me a warning if there's traffic. And we're going to see if I can slide it. All right, let's see. Second gear, yep. No, that's a lot of understeer. Okay, need a little bit more speed. Need to rotate that weight a little bit better as well. Okay, let's see if we rotate it a little bit more and then full throttle. Yeah, that was a little bit of a slide. I think. Okay, I need a little bit more speed, that's it. Let's try again. Okay, second gear. Full throttle. Yep, that was a slide. In a diesel X3. I mean, you have to give it to them. They know how to set up a car. That is absolutely awesome.
go, we.
So that's seriously impressive, okay? It's that torque that
It did look quite impressive.
it's that torque, that low down grunt that allows you to, when you rotate that weight and you floor it, it will slide, and that is absolutely awesome. I mean, we're talking about a fast family car with which you can do 1,000 kilometers on a tank, and you can slide it around. I mean, what else do you need? What more do you want? So, performance-wise, how does it feel? We're in manual. We've got the ZF 8-speed, lovely gearbox. So, as always with these performance diesels, I've talked about this before. Once you start really pushing them and wringing them out, they don't really like that. You need to stay in that torquey area. That's when a fast diesel feels fast. So you should shift at like 4,500 RPM, and then you get that grunt that you want. (4,000 RPM actually. So how does it compare to an M40i? Because it's pretty much the same idea, pretty much the same car. It's just petrol versus diesel. So I think that with an M40i you would have a bit more fun because you have that sound. The M40i sounds really good, and you have that 360 horsepower. I mean, that one you can really rev it out and it will reward you. So it's a completely different approach to the same thing, a performance SUV. But I actually think personally that this engine fits a small performance SUV better than the M40i. I mean, that's an awesome engine, but I think for everyday use, for daily driving, for holidays, you name it, this just makes more sense. So I'm actually going to turn on the GoPro now for the speedo, and I'm going to change the dials, so when I hit sport the dials change as well. I don't really like this speedo, but you know, it's just a lot clearer for you guys, so I'm going to use that one. Okay, sport mode, and we're at the Autobahn. So I'm not going to show you any measurements right now, but if you want to see how this car performed measured with our Draggy GPS performance box, you can click in the top right corner and check out the acceleration video. That's the video where we use our Draggy data. Okay, full throttle. Picks up nicely. It's just, you've got some fake sound through the speakers as well, which I kind of like. It's not too intrusive. And believe me, you wouldn't want to hear the diesel engine. So this is a good sound, I think. The setup of the suspension of this M40d is pretty firm. I picked it up yesterday, and I noticed that it's really quite firm, even when you're in comfort mode. So that's also why you can slide it around, because the setup, the initial setup of this car is firm, and when you put it in Sport Plus it tightens up even more. So they really did try to make this a nicely handling car. We're at 257.8 right now, so the limiter will kick in around now. 261 to, I think that's the limiter, 262 kilometers an hour. It's nice and quiet in here. The car is comfortable. It's stable. Tracks nicely. So yeah, this is what I meant when I said that this is what this car is made for. You just throw your Martijn in the back seat, a couple of dogs, a couple of suitcases, and you blast down the Autobahn with 262 kilometers an hour and a full tank of diesel. This is why I love performance diesels, because they can do it all if you have the right one. So I will tell you the 100 to 200 time we measured early, it's 16.47, which puts it right on par with the new BMW X7 M40d with 400 horsepower. So that's really nice. That is actually a very good place to be. So what do I think about this M40d after driving the M40i and after driving the previous generation Alpina XD3? Because that was a pretty impressive car as well. Before I was sort of hesitant to accept the fact that this was an M Performance, because they already had a performance diesel X3. It just wasn't called an M Performance. It wasn't an M35D. It was just a very powerful diesel X3. But after driving it for a couple of days, you really start noticing the little changes they made, especially in the setup of the chassis, but also in the power delivery of this engine, which is an absolute peach. I absolutely love this engine. But it's more the driving experience, the fact that you can actually slide it around, and the fact that it feels sharp on the turn-in. I don't know how they accomplished that, but it is super, super impressive, and I was not really expecting that. I was expecting it to be fast and nice and comfortable, but the fact that it handles pretty much like an X3 M40i, that's really cool, because it means that you really have two cars within the same label that have a totally different approach to performance, and they offer a lot to anyone who wants either. So if you're interested in one of these, go drive them both, because they both have a lot to offer. It's just completely different. And with that, and this little Autobahn blast, wow, it's quite empty today. I don't know what's happening. I'm going to end it, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. You can subscribe by clicking the big button in the middle. You can check out this video or go check out this playlist. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope to see you at the next one. Bye.